Good evening, Professor Maris, mentors, and fellow cyber interns. My name is Kashif Semple, and I'm the Information Security Officer for Team 1, which is Cyber SEALs. Last week, we talked about the efficacy of our Insider Threat Program, and today, I'll be talking about the risk assessments for the program. To do this, we had each role give a risk assessment using frequently performed risk assessments that fit each assigned role, which I will discuss later in the video. So let's begin by defining what is risk assessment and what are risk assessment. Risk is the possibility that an event will occur and adversely affect the achievement of objectives within an organization. A risk assessment is a systematic process for identifying and evaluating events that could affect the achievement of objectives within an organization, whether it may be positive or negative. Such events can be identified in an external environment as well as an organization's internal environment. When these events interfere with an organization's objectives or can be predicted to do so, they become risk. Thus, risk assessments are implemented within organizations to detect, deter, and mitigate internal and external threats, which will, of course, help with the longevity and success of the company. Operational risk assessment is performed by the behavior analyst because it deals with internal processes and people. Security risk assessments is performed by the information security officer because it deals with more logistical aspects such as evaluating risks relating to the organization's missions and evaluating potential breaches in the organization's physical assets and or information protection and security. Compliance risk assessment and fraud risk assessment is performed by the compliance analyst because those two assessments deal with organizations' ethics and compliance standards such as policies and procedures, laws and regulations, and ethics and business conduct standards. Because we saw a lot of overlap between the roles of cyber threat analysts and IT risk analysts, we decided to group them together for this week and have them perform the information technology risk assessment since it deals with evaluating the potential for technology system failures and the organization's return on information technology investments. For our risk assessment, our scope for risk levels is low, medium, and high in regards to levels of threat. High being the type of risk that would prove to be most detrimental to the organization's reputation and assets. Medium being the type of risk that can significantly jeopardize the organization's reputation and assets. And low being the type of risk that don't pose any significant threat. For example, data theft would be a high inherited risk because the databases is where the critical information is stored. In our chart, we have inherited risk, which is calculated by probability, impact, and vulnerability. We also have a control for each risk and estimated residual risk after each control is in place. As reported by the Information Systems Audit and Control Association, I quote, a comprehensive enterprise security risk assessment should be conducted at least once every 2 years to explore the risk associated with the organization's information systems. In the chart, we also combine the risk assessments from the compliance and behavior analyst and part of the IT risk analyst for the human error asset because the controls could be overlapped with data loss prevention solutions helping to stop insider threat as well as policies and training employees to detect suspicious behavior. To wrap this up, risk is any form of threat to the organization's assets or reputation. Risk assessment is a risk management plan, and in ours, we have attributed threat levels of high, medium, and low to the organization's assets. In conclusion, thank you guys for attending my presentation. Feel free to provide any comments on IQ4, and you can also contact us at the letter J, common spelling J, which is JAY, cyberseals@gmail.com. Thank you.